huge stretch for me to call the Orange Man a corporate bigwig, instead of William Afton, I guess. Fair enough. Let's get into that, shall we? Recall that we meet this mysterious stick figure in that driving minigame. The parts of it I neglected to mention last time are twofold. One, Orange Man isn't allowed inside of a place called Junior's. And two, there's a weird mound just off the road if you know where to look. Is this a burial mound? A grave? Perhaps. In fact, this whole minigame is ridiculously cryptic. Personally, I wasn't quite satisfied with my explanation that this minigame is to show us a Freddy Fazbear corporate executive who is so broke from all the failures and lawsuits that he lives in an empty house in the middle of the forest with at least one child that hates him. It seemed messy, even though it made sense. Why introduce a totally new character with little clues as to who it is in what's supposedly the last Fnaf game? Sure, someone had to make all those training tapes we see throughout Fnaf 6, and someone had to pay for all these new restaurants. But why explain that part of the story? Again, it makes sense logically, but from a storytelling standpoint, it feels like giving an answer to a question no one was asking. Hey, those murders are creepy and all, but who is responsible for the Fazbear franchise long-term financial future? Said no one ever. Indeed, Scott likes to mess with our heads, but answering questions nobody's asking just feels like a waste of time. I still stand by the logic and clues behind the corporate bigwig hypothesis. But is there a better explanation to this citrus man's identity? According to you guys, the answer is probably. Buzzing around the internet is the hypothesis that this man is William Afton's father. That's right, Afton Sr., a character we also have never seen before. At first, I thought this idea was ridiculous. It seemed more likely that the Orange Man would be William Afton himself rather than his father. But then I got to thinking. We know William Afton is the Purple Man, so why would Scott make him orange? The most likely reason is to throw us off because Scott is Scott. However, that would be ridiculous! Am I seriously supposed to believe that this man who has been represented as purple the last 4 years is suddenly just represented as orange? Sure, we didn't have confirmation that William was the purple guy until this game, but that still means I'm supposed to believe that the man who was revealed to be the purple guy in this game is also shown as orange in this game. And I get the reasoning for this. This house in the woods looks like the same house from the Fnaf 4 title screen. Kind of. And the kid watching TV is eerily reminiscent of Michael Afton watching TV after his shifts in sister location. Here's the thing though. We see the entire inside of the Fnaf 4 house during Fnaf 4. Yeah, it has a TV and the outside is vaguely similar, but when you compare the floor plans, it just doesn't add up. The Fnaf 4 house has 2 bedrooms, a living room, and also a sidewalk leading up to it. Also, it's within walking distance to a Fazbear's Pizzeria. The Fnaf 6 house is in the middle of nowhere and has none of those things, except for 1 bedroom and a living room. The house is tiny in comparison. Not to mention the TV this person is watching, or rather the objects and furniture next to it, don't match the TV Michael was watching in sister location, or even the TV in the Fnaf 4 house. The sister location tube has next to it a lamp and a clock. In Fnaf 4, it has a couch next to it. In Fnaf 6, the rest of this room is empty. Also, this person watching TV looks pink and old and bald and nothing like the crying child or his older brother. Therefore, this must be a different house, and these must be different people. Cue the YouTube comments saying Orange Man is William's father, and this person watching TV is an unnamed family member. Maybe a grandma waiting to die in her alcoholic failure of a son's house in the middle of nowhere. A dark thing to say. But is it such a stretch to say William Afton grew up in this house of darkness? Is it such a stretch to say he hated his father enough to break a window to escape? We know this Orange Man is banned from Junior's, presumably grew up in this house of darkness? Is it such a stretch to say he hated his father enough to break a window to escape? We know this Orange Man is banned from Junior's. Presumably a bar. I'm just saying, I've never known anyone who got banned from a bar who didn't have a drinking problem and who also wasn't an asshole. And so, Orange Man is an alcoholic and an abusive father. Indeed, Orange Man is a drunk a-hole, driving 200 miles an hour and ready to give his son a hard time despite this person saying to leave him alone tonight, implying this father doesn't leave his son alone most other nights. All signs point to sour orange juice over here being an abusive alcoholic, night after night after night. But wait, I hear you saying, why would Scott introduce William's father in the supposed last game of the series? Well, allow me to answer that question with a different one, and then answer that question in turn. What's the juiciest question Scott could possibly answer in this supposed Fnaf finale? Could the juiciest question of all time be, why did William Afton construct these murderous animatronics in the first place? Showing us William's childhood is the best answer to this question. Because what if every night William's father would drive home drunk, walk through the door, and be the shitty, abusive father that being blacked out on alcohol might very well turn you into? Growing up under the guise of this terrible orange man could easily have instilled within young William a desire that is murderous. Resentment can kill when put in the hands of the wrong person. It doesn't have to be that way, but some can't let their pain go. I'm not one to judge, but still. Damn it, William! But what of the mysterious mound? What's that got to do with all this? Well, that's where things get interesting. Recall that in Fnaf 4, we see Mangle on the floor of William Afton's house. Recall the minigame in Fnaf 6, where Henry's daughter collects flowers among a bunch of one-eyed, bleeding dog corpses, only to have Springtrap appear behind her to say, "He's over here, follow me." Then, apparently, here is a locked door she can't get through that makes her vulnerable to the world's first and only drive-by stabbing. But what if William Afton, aka Springtrap, was telling the truth? What if her dog was over there, inside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, lurking in the hallways like so many other animatronics? I mean, the dog isn't fused to Mangle just yet, but I'm being poetic, you get it. In FNAF 4, we see Mangle in a mangle on the floor, as though William Afton has been working on him in his house, waiting for the opportunity to meld a dog soul with his abomination. This would make sense because Mangle is the only animatronic who isn't a biped. He walks on 3 legs and never makes any recognizable human noises. Also, this dog has 1 eye, and so does Mangle. However, if Will Afton is a sadistic murderer, which he is, then why would he go to the trouble of saving someone's dog? At least if you call fusing a soul to a weird body saving. It's not like he got the satisfaction of knowing he killed it. This dog is roadkill, not a murder victim. Indeed, Mangle is the only animatronic where Afton's intentions might actually be pure, at least as pure as this crazy mofo's intentions can be. And that's because long ago, in a lonely clearing in a rainy forest, laid William's childhood dog. The only joy he had in a life of abuse at the hands of his father. Don't believe me? Well, when Orange Man finds the broken window and drunkenly mumbles, "It must have gone off to that place again," we can either assume William went to Junior's or he went to that mound. It's unlikely that a child went to a bar, and it's even less likely that Orange Dickface referred to a place with an actual name as just that place. Indeed, it's more likely that William headed to the mound where something is buried, a childhood pet, a source of joy that is no longer. And so William was raised in poverty in the middle of nowhere, under the guise of a father who was as cruel as he was orange, with a hapless grandparent, we'll say, sitting idly by. Such an upbringing instilled within him a sense of dread, of hatred. This burden is orange, with a hapless grandparent, we'll say, sitting idly by. Such an upbringing instilled within him a sense of dread, of hatred. This burden Afton has felt his whole life was then expelled onto the world in the form of his cruel, tortured genius, his animatronics, and the innocents they murdered and locked within themselves. Mangle is the only creature our killer had mercy for, a dog whose life was saved, a dog Afton wished he could have saved. Thanks to FNAF 6, we understood who, what, where, and when regarding the mystery of the murders. But it's only now we understand why. That's the story of the Orange Man's true identity, of William Afton's motives for every terrible thing he ever did. That's the story you never knew. And that's my take on the Orange Man. I know I kind of disregarded the corporate bigwig theory, but I really think this was a take worth presenting. This dude, being William's dad, just explains so much. That being said, I have an announcement. I hate buying razors at the store. They're way too expensive, and also razor commercials are stupid and always show a guy with no beard shaving. But not this time! This video is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. You've probably heard the name. With DSC, you get amazing quality razors to show off that handsome face of yours. If you're like me and are sick of the nonsense at the store, now's the time to try out Dollar Shave Club. For a limited time, DSC is basically giving away their shit shower shave starter set to new members for only $5 with free shipping. Abe Lincoln would be so proud. This starter set features their executive razor and trial-sized versions of their shave butter, body wash, and one-wiped Charlie's butt wipes. Opening this box smelled like a pleasant and soothing yet manly but not too manly aroma of goodness. Makes sense. Their executive razor is fantastic and includes their premium weighty handle and a full cassette of cartridges. After the first box, replacement cartridges are sent for only a few bucks a month. This offer is exclusively available in the link in the description. DollarShaveClub.com/Treesicle. Dollar Shave Club's high-quality products will have you covered from face to butt cheeks. There is no better time to try the club. Get super high-quality razors and shaving accessories delivered right